Hello everyone, Brother Chaos here, and welcome to another experiment. I'm in my studio and it's raining outside, but I have the windows up and I'm safe and sound, and it's the perfect environment for this creepy, exploitive movie that we will be reviewing today, Grave of the Vampire from 1972. Now, the director was John Hayes. He made a bunch of low budget B movies in the 60s and the 70s. I couldn't find a picture of him online. Unfortunately, many directors that have talent and are good and make fun films are not recognized, not nearly enough. Now, I want to speak about two notable pictures that he made. One of them, both from the 70s. One, Dream No Evil. That one I saw. I don't remember who released it. I think it was a box set from Arrow, but I'm not sure. But that's a great movie. It's kind of like a suspenseful horror melodrama. And the other movie that that particular director made, which I have not seen yet, but I heard what it was about, is called Garden of the Dead, also from around the 1970s area. Now, the two main characters in this movie are John Eastman, played by William Smith, who made a bunch of B movies in his career, mostly sometimes playing the villain, although in this particular movie, he is the hero. And the other character is Caleb Croft, played by Michael Pataki, who had an extensive career in TV and film. Okay, let's jump into the movie. So Leslie and her boyfriend Paul, both college students, are at a sorority house party, but they exit quickly late at night, jump into Paul's car, and head to some graveyard for some graveyard fun. Pretty much their Leslie has this kink where she likes to make love in the graveyard. Not on the ground, but inside the car parked in the cemetery. Now this is gonna get her into trouble because she's in the car with her boyfriend Paul, and that particular night they're talking about how they often go to the cemetery to make out. Uh, and Paul proposes to her, so it's a special occasion. She's happy. She seems like a nice enough girl, although she has this particular liking, but I'm not one to judge for what they do. And so she's excited, she's super happy, and they proceed to make love. Now, at the same time, Caleb Croft, the vampire, is opening the crypt where he's been buried in, and he's rising out slowly. He exits the crypt and he goes to the window, presses his face against the car window where Leslie and Paul are getting it on. And he's staring with his old haggard face, looking. It takes Leslie a moment to realize what's going on, and Paul as well. Actually, I don't think they even noticed because in 30 seconds after Caleb Croft is looking through the window, he rips off the car door with superhuman vampire strength, throws it, pulls Paul out of the car, throws him on a gravestone. Leslie is screaming and shouting and hysterical. Poor girl. He proceeds to drain Paul of his blood, and then he gets Leslie. Are you ready for this? He he pulls her down into an open grave and does the unthinkable. Now, if you know what this film is about, you know what he does. Okay, so now we move into, I would say, half an hour to an hour later. Leslie is in the hospital. She's shocked and just horrified at what has just happened to her, and she's not speaking. The police are there and they're asking questions because there was a witness at the cemetery, a drunkard, who saw some of the things that he saw a guy running away from the scene, and he saw Leslie screaming, and he saw Paul's dead body, and the police are interrogating him. So the police, one of the policemen, a lieutenant, goes to where Leslie is in the bed. He pulls out mugshots of pictures to see if she could identify her attacker. He's showing her the pictures. No reaction. No reaction. Then he pulls out a photograph that he has in his shirt pocket, and it's a photograph of Caleb Croft. So the lieutenant is smart. He has an idea, although many his co-workers don't believe him. Shows it to Leslie, and Leslie reacts. She's panicked. He knows there's something supernatural going on. A little while later in the hospital, the doctor goes to Leslie and informs her that she's pregnant. I didn't know that this could happen immediately. Could you get pregnant? Could the doctor tell that you're pregnant just a few hours after intercourse? I don't know. Maybe the seed of a dead man is that potent. Who knows? But Leslie is happy instead of being shocked. She says it's Paul's baby. She says, "Oh, I'm gonna have Paul's baby. I'm so happy." Her doctor counsels her to terminate the pregnancy because he says that what is inside of her is a parasite that is draining her blood. I don't know how he knows this, but it's a B movie, so we'll give it a pass. She absolutely does not want to terminate the pregnancy. So, with her friend Olga, who is there in the hospital, she leaves and goes home. We cut to the moment where she's giving birth to her baby. So she's in bed, Olga is helping her out, and she gives birth to a baby boy. Now, Olga has the baby cradled in her arms in a blanket, and Leslie is in bed sweating, tired from just giving birth to the undead. Well, half human, half vampire. Okay. So she says, "I want to see the baby. I want to see Paul's baby." Poor girl, she still thinks it's Paul's baby. When she sees the baby, she says, "Oh, it's so gray." And Olga goes, "Let's take him to the hospital. He might be sick." She says, "No, he'll be okay. He's my baby. He's my baby." She holds him close. Now Olga and Leslie are worried because the baby, which is gonna turn out to be the main character, James Eastman. Baby James is not nursing, drinking milk like a normal baby. So then she said, Leslie's in a rocking chair. She says to Olga, "Bring me the baby. I want to try to see if he nurses, to see if he'll take the breast again." But he doesn't. The baby doesn't nurse. Leslie reaches to a nearby table where there's some fruits and there's something sharp, and she pricks her finger, and she moves her finger in front of her, and a couple of drops of blood fall down and fall into the baby's mouth. And she realizes that the baby is drinking the blood. So then she does what any good mother would do in a B movie. She gets a small knife, cuts a slit above her breast, and baby James starts nursing from the blood. After this, she knows how to take care of him, so she inserts syringes into her arm. Once pulls enough blood out into a baby bottle, and then feeds baby James her blood. Oh boy, this movie definitely has some weird concepts going on, but I think I like it. I do think I like it. So now the movie has an abrupt jump to, let's say, 25 years later, and we're at the funeral of Leslie. She's died, and an adult James Eastman is there at her funeral, and we see the casket open, and she looks like an old lady because she basically raised James on her blood. I'm not sure if she had blood from other people to nurse him for 25 years. I don't know, but James at that moment vows revenge against Caleb Croft, the man who did the unthinkable to her mother, and he now will begin to track down Caleb Croft and kill him. Okay, so now James has realized that Caleb Croft likes to go to universities and seek victims there amongst the young female students. Well, female and male, because he did drink the blood of Paul, Leslie's boyfriend, in the beginning of the film. So James Eastman uh, tracks him down to this particular university, and he's there, and Caleb Croft is a professor, and he goes by the name of Adrian Lockwood, Professor Lockwood, and he's teaching a night course on the occult. And so obviously James enrolls in a night course, and I guess he's a student there because later on we see that he lives in the dorm with other students. So, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. If he just wants to kill Caleb Croft, why would he become enrolled in the university and become a student? But it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The movie's still fun to me. So it's a night course in the occult, and Croft has the new name of Mr. Lockwood, Adrian Lockwood, and it's pretty much a bullshit course. He talks about, oh, people fear death, people fear the unknown, and the students are like, yes, yes. And James is sitting there, stoic, silent, and the topic of vampires comes up, and Mr. Well, let's call him Croft, his real name. Mr. Croft addresses James and says, "Oh, you're interested in vampires," and they have a little small conversation there, which doesn't really lead up to anything, but Croft becomes a little suspicious that his students know a little about who he may be, because I'm not going to reveal the backstory of Caleb Croft, but it turns out that he's been alive since the 18th century. And there is a book called Mysteries of New England that one of the students in the night course, I think it's the student's name is Anne. I could be mistaken. She says, "Oh yes, I heard about this vampire." So after the night course at the university ends, some of the students go to a get together in one of the dorm rooms, and James is invited, and he's just there, pretty much keeping to himself. But the girls are attracted to him. They're talking to him. He ends up going to bed with one of the girls. She's like, "Oh, you're so passionate." The man is like a rock. He has a stone cold, emotionless face. Look at the picture that I showed in this video of him. It's funny, but whatever. So, and Caleb Croft, he's aware that this book is out, Mysteries of New England, and could possibly expose him for who he is. So he goes to a library and see if he could take out the book. But it's a reference book and you can't take it out. So there's this beautiful redhead librarian. She says, "Excuse me, sir, we're closing now." So he's like trying to work his vampire charm magic on her. She's like, "Oh, you can't take out that book. It's a reference book." And he's, giving her the vampire eye. And so she starts flirting with him a little bit. She says, "Oh, I used to be a model." She lets down her beautiful red hair, brushing her hair, and he thinks that his charm is working on her. But then later she grabs the book and puts it back and says, "No, we have strict rules in this library. You cannot take out the book." Caleb Croft is infuriated, strangles her, drinks her blood, another victim. I think throughout this movie he kills maybe around 5 people, I'd say. All pretty cool kills, short, a little bloody, but I'm not gonna describe them now. Watch the movie; it's a fun movie. So now the question is, oh, I'm sorry. So in the third act of the movie, we get a crazy séance at Croft's house with his students. A crazy séance. You have to watch it to believe it. Vampire versus vampire melee action, wrestling, throwing each other. Will James vanquish Caleb Croft? Will he fulfill his vow that he made at his mother's funeral? Watch the movie and find out. This movie, I don't. I used to like more extreme graphic films in the past, but lately, not so much these days. I give this movie a pass because it's very cheesy, it's fun, and the rape is not shown, it's implied. So that's okay. And I like a little, um, I was going to use the word shenanigans, but that's not there. A little sexual shenanigans sometimes, a little craziness, a mix of the macabre in my movies. And this movie delivers. I want to thank, I don't know if I did so at the beginning of the video, but I want to thank my pal Ryan for turning me on to this movie. I had a lot of fun with it, and my coffin count is going to be 3 coffins. a solid, good movie. Brother Chaos says, check it out. I believe it was released by, there's a release by Scream Factory on Blu-ray. So go out, watch this movie. I enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day today. Brother Chaos loves you. Signing out.